Hey, what's up YouTube? Houston here. For those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. And for those of you that's been following me and supporting me, salute. And for my favorite patrons, always, double salute. Now, today's video, we're actually going to be talking about how to establish business credit for an LLC with no Paydex score or no net 30s. And the reason that I wanted to make this video, because I know there's a lot of people out there that have LLCs. They're trying to figure out, how do I establish a business credit in terms of, do I actually really need a Paydex score? How many net 30s do I need? Well, in this video, I'm going to actually break down why it's not always necessary to have a Paydex score, net 30s, DUNS number, and things of that nature. And it's a faster way to build up business credit or establish business credit for an LLC, okay? Now, here's one of the biggest factors in terms of establishing business credit for funding. So understanding there's two options, okay? If you're trying to establish business credit so that you can get equipment and stuff, say that you have it like a restaurant or a janitorial or something like that where you always need supplies and stuff, that's in reference to like building up on net 30s. But if you're actually talking about getting funding like Visa, MasterCard, American Express, business lines of credit, business loans, then you want to go this route because this is going to establish you much faster. And the reason that I tell people this is because I've seen so many people that use the tier-based system. Tier 1, getting the net 30s. Tier 2, getting gas cards. Tier 3, applying for a credit card. And then what ends up happening on Tier 2 and Tier 3, they find out that companies are pulling their personal credit. So in terms of helping you understand how to actually build a relationship with financial institutions, this is the most important thing. One of the most important things you have to understand, that you can be with any other financial institution, but I would still encourage you to at least have one of these banks here. And the reason is because they actually report your activity to the business credit bureaus. Now, you have American Express, Chase, Capital One, Citibank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, US Bank, PNC, SunTrust, right? Now, if you notice here, the most important thing that's on this system is SBFE. That stands for Small Business Financial Exchange. The reason that's more important than all of the other credit bureaus is because they distribute all the information to the credit bureaus. They're going to send the information over to Dun Bradstreet. That's where Dun Bradstreet most of the time gets his information from, okay? Now, in reference to Experian and Equifax, they have their own system, but at the same time, the reason that you want to make sure that you have a bank that's reporting to the Small Business Financial Exchange, because somewhere down the line, you may be trying to get an SBA loan, right? And of course, SBA have express loans as well. Here's one of the reasons that I want to explain this so that you all understand. When COVID hit, a lot of people were turned down for business loans. And it was two main factors. One, they did not have a Small Business Financial Exchange file. It wasn't established. And their credit score was below a 620. Okay? So when they applied for an SBA loan, they pulled their Experian, right? And the thing about it, by they pulling the Experian, they see that they had a low credit score. So when they looked over at the business didn't have a file. So in reference to trying to establish that with like net 30s, there are certain net 30s that you can do it with, but I'm going to tell you this. The fastest way to build business credit so that you can get access to funding is using this here method. Okay, and what I mean by using this method, again, choosing one of these financial institutions, even if you have a bank, even if you have a business bank account with other financial institutions, you may have one with Navy Federal, which don't report. Okay, you may have one with Barclays or something like that, right? But they don't report. You want companies that actually report your business credit activity. Okay, especially when you're depositing. One of the key secrets to this is making sure that you're making deposits either on weekly, daily, or weekly. Okay, the reason is the more activity you have going on establishing business credit with your LLC is your deposits. So I don't care if you're driving for Uber, Lyft, Instacart, DoorDash, or any of those companies out there. I'm gonna tell you, if you're trying to establish business credit, to get access to more funding, this is the way to do it. Now, another step that I will tell you guys, if you are a independent contractor, I don't care what it is, I would definitely tell you to set up either a Square account or PayPal account. The reason is because the more deposits you have in those accounts, the more they're willing to give you more money after you have a certain time period with them. Like, say, for instance, PayPal. Now, PayPal has their loan builder program. You don't have to be a member with PayPal to go through that. They just look at your activity and stuff. But then they have their business account. The reason I tell people to use the PayPal business accounts, adding to these regular business accounts, this is how you get access to more funding. And we're going to talk about that because I got some lenders I'm going to show you. Even if you have bad credit, they will actually give you funding. But you have to have everything in place as an LLC. So here's the thing about it. You open up a business account with PayPal, okay? And so you're an independent contractor. You have that money. Say that you're doing DoorDash, Uber, or whatever, where you're able to check out every day, putting money into your account every day. So you transfer that money over to your PayPal business account. And then you transfer the money over into one of these here checking accounts. Okay? Now, I'm not telling you if you have business bank accounts other places to close them down. Do not do that because you already have a relationship with them. However, you need to make sure that you have this process in place because this is going to give you the maximum amount of money. So let's just put it, say that you're a DoorDash driver or Lyft or Instacart driver, right? And so you're depositing every day. You're depositing every day, say $50 to $100. Just say $100 a day. You're depositing. Okay, so you're depositing that money into your PayPal, goes into PayPal. So that's $3,000 a month, right? That money then transferred over to your American Express, Chase, Capital One. I would tell you, I would probably go with American Express is awesome, okay? But the one thing about it, they only report to Small Business Financial Exchange. If I want to get the maximum amount of reporting, then I probably would open up an account with Chase. I would still do Amex, but I would probably wait down the line. But I'd probably open an account, business account with Chase, Capital One, Citibank, and US Bank. Okay, those would probably be my top. Now, Truist, which is, I think it's SunTrust and another bank, they report to Small Business Financial Exchange, which is okay. Again, I would not close those accounts down. I would keep those open. But my top choices would be Chase, Capital One, Citibank, and US Bank. Okay, those would be my top choices because they report to more of the business credit bureaus. That being said, now also these are all pulling from, more likely they're going to pull now from your Experian FICO 8, okay? They may not put in hard inquiry to open up the checking account, but in terms of like with business credit cards and stuff, they're going to pull from your Experian FICO 8. The only one that will not pull from your Experian FICO 8 would be Wells Fargo. They pull from your Experian FICO 9. Now Chase, they're doing double pulls now. Capital One, they pull 3 times. But Chase is pulling from your Experian as well as your Equifax. Now they're doing 2 inquiries, so you have to keep that in mind when you're applying for credit cards with a Chase. Okay, they're doing 2 inquiries. All right. Now that being said, again, money being transferred from deposited from your account when you paid out through DoorDash or Instacart or whatever over to your PayPal business bank account, then transferred over to your business bank account. Why do you do this? The reason is because the documentation from PayPal, you can actually use that documentation to raise more money, not only from PayPal, but to raise more money from these other alternative lenders that I'm going to show you in this video as well. This is the reason why I tell you, in reference to like net 30s and stuff like that, hey, if you need equipment and stuff like that, it's fine. But when you actually are trying to raise money, if you're actually trying to raise money, you say that you're trying to get into the stock market. So you're trying to buy real estate, or you're trying to buy cars for car sharing platforms like Toro and stuff. You just need more money. So you have this job that's bringing in money, but you don't have the established credit and stuff like that, and you need to build a relationship. Well, this is the way that you actually do it. Okay. That being said, now you helping you build business credit. You have the Capital One Spark Classic. So if you have at least a 580 credit score, okay, you may qualify for the Capital One. Again, understanding about internal scoring. Now, with Capital One, they pull from your Vantage 3, okay? Either your FICO 8 or Vantage 3. They'll give you a Vantage 3, but they still pull from FICO 8 bank card, okay? So that way you understand, because you're like, well, how come I'm looking at my Vantage 3 score with Capital One? But that's what they'll give you, but they actually pull from your FICO 8. Okay. Now, with the Business Spark business card, 580 credit scores are all you need. Okay. So as an LLC, 580 credit score is where you want to at least having a 580 credit score. Now, here's the thing about it that you have to understand. They're going to report, right? They'll report all your activity. One of the things that most people miss out about, and I talked to a client about this too, because they had got a Capital One Spark card, but because it was only $500, they wouldn't use the card. Do not screw yourself like that. If Capital One gives you the card, I don't care if it's $300. Use the card. Use the card, buy gas for your vehicle, whatever subscriptions you have that's for the company, anything that's related to the company, use the card for it and pay it off every month. Use it and pay it off. As a matter of fact, I would tell you to try to max it out and then pay it off before the due date, especially if it's a smaller limit. Because the more you max it out, now that Capital One would actually see that, as they reporting this, again, now they would look at you again and increase that credit limit. All right. So that's the reason. Even if you have a low limit business credit card, you still want it because it's going to report to the business credit bureaus. Okay. Somebody may ask, well, can I use my EIN? Yes, you can put your EIN on the application. Okay. Now, in reference to Wells Fargo has a secured card, okay? So where you have to pay the money up front. Their cards go from $500 to $25,000, okay? Over a certain time period, then they evaluate to make it into an unsecured card, all right? But the thing about it is, even if they don't turn it into an unsecured card right away, you want it because it's going to actually report to the small business financial exchange, okay, and then that information is distributed out. All right, so that's the reason that you want this card. All right, so that's number 2, right? Number 3 is Divvy. Divvy offers a line of credit. Now here's the thing about it, you have to understand about this. Divvy offering a line of credit. Now if you have a low credit score, they pull FICO 9. So you won't get a hard inquiry on your credit file. If they approve you, you won't see the hard inquiry on your credit file. Now, one of the things about it, say that you don't instantly get approved for a line of credit with Divvy. They're going to offer you the credit builder program, right? If they offer your credit builder program for your LLC, get in the program. The reason is because it reports a small business financial exchange, and that information is reported to Dun Bradstreet. Okay, so now you're starting to understand that long as the accounts, these business accounts are starting to report, okay, that's what you want. Even if you don't have perfect credit, but building up the way that I've been telling you to establish business credit is going to get you funding much faster, even if you have bad credit. That being said, here's a couple companies. If you haven't been in business a long time, but you're generating revenue, these are companies that will work with you to get you funding. Now, with First Capital, they give you loans from $5,000 to $2 million. You don't have to have any assets, no real estate. The amount of time to be in business with them is at least 4 months, but you have to make at least $8,000 gross revenue. Okay, monthly gross revenue, but they work at all 50 states. So if you have an LLC and you have bad credit, but you have the financial statements or the tax documents to prove that, hey, I've been in business at least 4 months and I've been making at least $8,000 a month, then this is one of the companies you may want to look at, and they operate in all 50 states. Okay, and they said the minimum credit score is 500, but again, basically you still have bad credit, right? And you don't have to have a credit card processing system in order for them to give you loans, all right? Now, you have Headway Capital. They have lending as well. Theirs go from 5,000 to 100,000, 550 plus credit score, as long as you've been in business at least 12 months. Now, you have to be making at least $4,200 for at least a year, okay? Now, the unfortunate thing about them is that in terms of where they lend to, so if you're in the state of Connecticut, Michigan, Montana, Nevada, North Dakota, Rhode Island, South Dakota, Vermont, you may not be able to work with them. Their loans go from 12, 18 to 24 months, okay? It is, unfortunately, they do a hard credit check, but hey, if they're working with you with a 550 credit score, it still may be an opportunity for you, okay? Now, you have McKinsey Capital. You have to be in business at least 3 months, have at least $5,000 in monthly revenue coming in, having a working bank account, no personal guarantee. So that means they're not going to do a hard inquiry. They're just looking at the business. Now you see why I was telling you that if you're an independent contractor, if you're an LLC, you're set up to open up that a business account with PayPal and stuff like that. And also do your weekly deposits, weekly or daily deposits, because this type of company will look at that information, and that will help you determine to be able to get funding from these type of companies, even if you have bad credit. This is why I tell people that it's not always necessary to have a DUNS number. It's not always necessary to have net 30s or a Paydex or a perfect Paydex score. But if you have revenue coming into the business, or if you have good credit, but if you have revenue coming into the business, there are lenders out there that's willing to give you funding. Just showing off of you actually showing proof that, hey, I have revenue coming into my business. Okay? So if you have an LLC and you're trying to raise capital, now you can see that it is possible for you to actually get funding without a Paydex score, without a DUNS number, without net 30s, to be able to establish business credit and get funding. Then you have Rapid Finance. Rapid Finance, their loans go from $5,000 to $5 million, 500 credit score, 3 months in business, at least $5,000 a month. Okay, so there's so many companies out there that can help you get funding even if you have bad credit and you haven't been in business that long. So I'm just pointing out some of the major ones that you may want to take a look at. Now, here's another thing. Say that you're an LLC, you've still been in business for less than a year, but your overall average revenue up to this point, say you've been in business for 10 months and you've been bringing in at least $3,000 a month. So that's $30,000 in revenue. Well, capital on tap. Capital on tap. Again, no impact on your credit score. They're distributed through Web Bank. They just want to see bank statements and invoices. So you're still able to get business credit cards and stuff, real business credit cards, without having a Paydex score, without having a Dun's number, without having net 30s, okay? So this is possible. One of the things I could continue to tell people, a lot of people apply for Capital on Tap, they gave them lines of credit, but they weren't able to prove Capital on Tap would ask them, hey, where's the invoices? And they didn't have any documents to show real invoices or whatever. But by you actually as an independent contractor and you're getting paid daily and you're actually transferring the money over to your PayPal, these goes as actual records that you can actually present to show, hey, these are my weekly deposits, my daily deposits, my monthly deposits, so that you can get access to more funding. All right. So if you have any questions about business credit, personal credit, business credit funding, personal credit funding, click the link below and schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.